After looking at your examples of thesis statement from weighting, I wanted to show you some good examples and also some problematic examples that I saw in your thesis statement. There is another video that I have that describes how to create a thesis statement when reading Harrison Bergeron. There is also one that describes a few days back about creating a thesis statement for the Walt Whitman poem that we read. So if you have questions about what is in a thesis statement, those videos, particularly the one that deals with Harrison Bergeron, is probably your best bet. Here are some problematic examples. Remember that your thesis statement needs three parts. It needs first an observation, secondly it needs an active verb, and thirdly, it needs the author's opinion of a theme or idea. So the problematic examples don't contain one of those issues. In this first problematic example, there is no active verb. So it says, in weighting, McNally's uses, probably meant to say McNally's use of punctuation, McNally's use of punctuation to talk about the character's boring life. All right? Actually, probably should have said uses. All right, so somebody wrote, in weighting, McNally, see, not only was it problematic because it didn't use an active verb, it was also written poorly. All right, so in weighting, McNally uses punctuation to talk about the character's boring life. There is no active verb, all right? No active verb, so it doesn't really function as a thesis statement. In the second one, there's no concept or idea or what we are calling a theme. In weighting, a substitute teacher who gets paid the least has to work 5 times a day teaching back-to-back classes, portraying the possibility of getting a full-time job with benefits. There is no real theme that can apply to all of us. All right? It talks about her, but it doesn't talk about a theme that could apply to everybody. The third problematic example is that the concept or idea, or what we're calling the theme, isn't fleshed out. The conclusion doesn't say what the story says about the concept. It doesn't say what the author's opinion of a theme is. So in this problematic example, it's in weighting, McNally's use of punctuation and the seemingly endless way she writes about an ordinary life portrays depression. So this one's first part is great. Its active verb is great, but it doesn't really talk about what the author thinks about depression. So it would be a problematic example. Down here we have some good examples. In weighting, McNally's use of punctuation and the seemingly endless ways she writes about an ordinary life portrays the idea that being stuck in a cycle you can't get out of is depressing, but one small change can give you hope. So here we took what was one word, depression, and then we talked about what the author thought about that idea. All right, so we fleshed out that idea. We have portrays, which is an active verb, and we have what portrays the idea that being stuck in a cycle you can't get out of is depressing. Next example, in Waiting by Peggy McNally, the female character continues to make the best of her situation in hopes of becoming a full-time teacher. This demonstrates that you may have to persevere through difficult situations to get to where you want. The boring and repetitive life of the character in Waiting demonstrates that life continues without purpose. In Waiting, the character is waiting for something to happen, proving that time is valuable and you have to make things happen yourself. When the dad in Waiting reminds the character that she might get a full job, it portrays hope for a better future. Alright, so those are good examples. These are problematic examples. Remember to have all three parts of your thesis statement. You need the author's opinion of the theme last. You need an active verb in the middle. And first, you need what proves that this actually is the author's opinion of the theme. If you have questions, please talk to me.